So Sonnax 68 RFE valve bodies do not come ready to bolt on out of the box. The reason being is that this valve body assembly will work with either a 545 RFE or a 68 RFE. So what you need to do is remove the cover plate, and then for the second and the fourth accumulator you need to change the springs out to what they have in the package there. So take a quick look at the instructions so you can see. Alright, and what they do is tell you that for a second accumulator for a 68 RFE valve body, or for a 68 RFE application, you need to install the orange inner spring and then the plain outer spring. So here's your orange inner, and then you will install the white spring in the overdrive accumulator location. So that's this spring plus the pink spring that's in here. So these two springs, the plain and the orange, will go here, and then the white and the pink spring will go in the overdrive. So we're also going to bolt on our brand new solenoid pack as well, so that the entire assembly can be mated to the transmission once we're all done with it. Alright, so all you have left to do now is just take the cover plate off. So you have 6 Allen bolts. These are 4mm, and you have 4 Torx 25. And all of these bolts, along with all the rest of those bolts over there, and the solenoid pack, the valve body assembly bolts, all take 40 inch-pounds. So 40 inch-pounds of torque, and that's basically it. I'm just going to flip this over. There are cut washers here. Okay, none of these should be tough coming off. I mean, 40 inch-pounds is nothing. And they all, so far, feel, you know, like in that 40 inch-pound range. Okay, so here's second accumulator, here's fourth accumulator. So the orange and plain springs will go in the second accumulator position, and then the pinkish white spring will go in the fourth accumulator position. So 2 springs in here and only 1 spring in there. You can see it. And there's a better look at the accumulators. Goes aside, and then we can bolt the plate back on. If you're going to use a 3/8 impact, just be real careful. Make sure that you have very good control over it. One of the reasons I switched to the snap-on or these snap-on impacts is because, and this could be just me, but I've never had so much control over the speed of the anvil with any other brand of impact than I have with the snap-ons. I mean, don't get me wrong, Milwaukee are great tools, as are DeWalt, but I don't have as much control of, you know, the trigger as I do with the snap-on impacts. Other than that, they're all about the same, to be honest. Okay, 40-inch pounds. And I'll readily admit, I don't know if there's like a specific tightening sequence with this thing, but I'm gonna do these 2, then these 2, and then just kind of alternate, you know, working my way out. Again, this is my way of doing it. You know, if you want to do it a different way, going left to right, right to left, probably perfectly fine. May have saved some time constantly switching out fasteners, like you see me doing. Couldn't tell you for sure. Let's grab that one, and I'll hit that Torx as my last. Come on, give it up. Not ripped. It's a nice heavy-duty spacer plate that Sonnax provides. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I ripped that gasket because these gaskets are much better. I mean, those units, they had a lot going on in those valve bodies. There we go. So there's literally a million bolts here, so I'm obviously not going to make you watch me zip down all of them. I'll put the count on the screen. I don't know what it is offhand. A lot is basically what you're dealing with. So let me go ahead and zip them on. 40 inch-pounds, all of them. And to my knowledge, there is no tightening sequence. You just kind of work your way out in a spiral pattern, and then you kind of do the same with the solenoid pack. Now we're going to go ahead and torque everything up. So 40 inch-pounds, you know, use whatever you want to keep track of your progress. It's quite a lot of bolts, so I'm actually going to use the video itself, and after I'm done watching it, I'll check the footage to make sure I didn't miss any. So I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out in a spiral pattern. It'd help if I had the damn wrench on. 40 inch-pounds. All right, it's quite a lot of bolts, and as you can see, or as you just saw, I should say, I missed a few, some in here and then a couple over here, and then a couple that took torque for a second time that were torqued to 40 inch-pounds initially. That was a product of the thicker gasket collapsing and compressing. So it's good to go over all these bolts at least twice, and I may even go over them a third time either later today or tomorrow before this goes onto the transmission. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is take the other fasteners, or take the fasteners out of the old valve body for the solenoid pack so that we can use them on this one and install the new solenoid pack onto the Sonnax valve body. Alright, so this valve body is pretty nasty. I'll clean it up a little bit. It stinks real bad. Here's our solenoid pack. So I have all the bolts marked that need to come out so that we can remove the solenoid pack and use these bolts to install the new solenoid pack on the Sonnax valve body. So it's going to be here, this one, this one, this one, this one, there's 15 of them in total. So 40 inch-pounds just like the rest of them. Disgusting. So I just needed the bolts. Alright, now that we got the bolts out of that other valve body, we're going to go ahead and install the new solenoid pack to this valve body. So you want to make sure that your range position switch is aligned appropriately as it needs to be, and then all you're going to do at this point is bolt it on. You have two alignment dowels here, and they're going to go in their corresponding locations. So this switch is going to go here. The switch is going to end up in this channel here. So this will go right here, right above my thumb. And then this is your contact plate, which is a little dirty. Alright, now that you have that installed, double check it. Carefully flip it upside down. And go ahead and install your bolts. Run them down and then torque them to 40 inch-pounds. So 15 bolts total, holding the solenoid pack to the valve body. Just get them started first. Torque's 25. And when you draw that first bolt on, kind of the rest of them will jut out a little, so you don't have to worry about not having enough length on the bolts. Okay, so as you can see, I had to go over the bolts multiple times, every single one, so it's really like you're torquing 45 bolts instead of 15. So figure to go over them at least 3 times, and then I'm going to double check all these bolts. Probably tomorrow. It'll be the equivalent of about 15, 16 hours from now. Alright, now our valve body is fully prepped and ready to be installed onto the newly rebuilt transmission. So just to recap, there's quite a lot of bolts, 35 total valve body bolts holding the channel plate to the valve body. Then you have your 15 solenoid pack to valve body assembly bolts. And then, of course, be very careful when handling the valve body. As you saw earlier, I ripped the gasket and, well, that's no good. So that said, I'm kind of glad I did, because these Trans-Tech gaskets are flimsy by comparison to the dealer gaskets, you know, the OEM gaskets. So is what it is, but all told, I think that these thicker gaskets are better. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. You know, you may tell me in the comments that it doesn't make a damn bit of difference, and yeah, you're probably right, but I do like the thicker gaskets. Alright, that's the valve body prep, so now this thing's ready to go.